Actress Ava Gardner got her start in show business when she was signed to MGM in 1941. She went on to appear in numerous small roles until she finally grabbed the critics' attention when appearing in Robert Siodmak's 1946 noir film The Killers. A few years later, in 1953, she was honored with an Academy Award for Best Actress for her powerful performance in Mogambo. After appearing in The Night of the Iguana in 1964, she scored a Best Actress Golden Globe Award as well as a BAFTA Award. Throughout the 50s, Ava showed off her acting chops as a capable and talented leading lady, and was considered one of the decade's top stars. For the next 3 decades, she continued to be a Hollywood heavyweight whose work was applauded by critics and audiences alike. A few of her best films from this chapter were 55 Days at Peking, 7 Days in May, Tam Lin, and The Cassandra Crossing, to name a few. She continued to appear in films until 1986, just 4 years before her passing in 1990. She was 67. Gardner was often drunk and was by all accounts destitute, broke, and utterly alone towards the end of her life. In January of 1988, she picked up the phone and called Peter Evans, a British journalist, and asked him if he would ghostwrite her memoirs. The resulting book, Ava Gardner, The Secret Confessions, essentially served as a deathbed tell-all that revealed many previously unknown details about the troubled actress's life and career. Join Facts First as we take a closer look at the 3 affairs that nearly destroyed Ava Gardner's life and career. Ava Gardner's 3 marriages. Shortly after Gardner moved to LA to pursue her dream of becoming a star of the silver screen, she met MGM contract actor Mickey Rooney. The two immediately hit it off, and they got married January 10, 1942. They tied the knot in the rural town of Ballard, California, because MGM bigwig Louis B. Mayer was concerned fans would lose interest in Rooney's then popular Andy Hardy series of films if it became public knowledge he'd gotten married. Gardner and Rooney got divorced in 1943, with Ava claiming Mickey had been mentally cruel to her throughout their time together. In private, she claimed Rooney's gambling problem and philandering had been the main issues in their troubled union. But she didn't bring these claims to the public arena because she simply didn't want to ruin his on-screen persona and wholesome image. After all, the character he had portrayed in all those Andy Hardy films was a clean-cut son of a judge, and the public adored him for it. Gardner's second marriage to bandleader and jazz musician Artie Shaw was likewise very short-lived. They walked down the aisle in 1945, but just a year later filed for divorce. Shaw previously had been wed to actress Lana Turner. Ava's third and final marriage was to the legendary crooner and sometimes actor Frank Sinatra. They exchanged vows in 1951, and their union endured until 57. Gardner later revealed in her memoir that she considered Sinatra to be the love of her life. After meeting Gardner, Sinatra promptly left his wife Nancy to be with her. When he and Gardner got married, the media had a field day reporting on their scandalous situation. Sinatra was lambasted by tabloid writers such as Hedda Hopper and Luella Parsons, as well as his fans, the Catholic Church, and much of the Hollywood establishment for leaving his beloved wife for someone who was perceived to be nothing more than a femme fatale. Gardner exploited her influence and connections in the industry, most notably with Harry Cohn, to land Sinatra his Oscar award-winning part in 1953's From Here to Eternity. That particular role and Sinatra's Oscar win is typically cited as the catalyst that led to the resurgence in his acting and singing careers. Gardner and Sinatra's marriage was by all accounts a very turbulent one. When they were going through the darkest days of their time together, Gardner turned to her second husband, Artie Shaw, for comfort. Gardner told Shaw she resented the way Sinatra treated her, as if she were some kind of fragile porcelain china piece. She further likened being with him to being married to a woman. She couldn't stand how gentle and passive he was. What she was really looking for was a man not afraid to show off his grittier, more aggressive side, but that wasn't the kind of man Sinatra was, and Gardner was left feeling as if some of her needs were perpetually unmet. While she was married to Sinatra, Gardner got pregnant twice, but ultimately had 2 abortions. In her memoir, she explained she didn't want to be penalized by MGM, who had various clauses in their contracts that would punish stars for having babies. Even after they divorced, Gardner and Sinatra remained close friends for the remainder of their lives. Ava Gardner's husband's affairs. Mickey Rooney, her first husband, was a notorious womanizer. He even cheated on his wife, whom he once considered to be the most beautiful woman in the world, in their very own bed. On top of that, Rooney even hooked up with his mistresses while Gardner was recovering from having an appendectomy in the hospital. Gardner once said of Rooney, he would go through the ladies like a hot knife through fudge. Furthermore, Rooney even slept with her best friend, Lana Turner. When referring to Rooney's insatiable sexual appetite, Turner once called Mickey by the less than flattering nickname Andy Hard-On. After Gardner and Rooney divorced, she married Artie Shaw, who was also known to sleep around. Gardner also considered him to be somewhat of a bully who would constantly put her down. 1 week after Gardner and Shaw's first anniversary, he dumped her for another woman. After Gardner and Sinatra got married, it became well known their relationship was very volatile. They constantly fought, and the boozing of both stars only fanned the flames of their conflict. While they were together, it was also known that Lana Turner and Sinatra had a brief affair behind Gardner's back. But perhaps Gardner's bad luck with picking men and their tendency to cheat had something to do with her own indiscretions. Call it karma or what have you, but Ava Gardner was also quite promiscuous throughout her marriages. Ava Gardner's other relationships, affairs, and flings. On her first day working for MGM, Gardner, who was just a starry-eyed, shy 18-year-old actress, was given a guided tour of the Culver City film lot by studio public relations worker Milton Weiss. Weiss took the young, burgeoning star to the set of the musical film Babes on Broadway. That's when she met Mickey Rooney. But when they started their infamous roller coaster of a relationship, Gardner was also involved with business magnate and pilot Howard Hughes. Gardner and the famed aviator's on-again, off-again relationship lasted into the 50s, although Gardner claims in her memoir she never actually fell in love with him. Even so, their relationship persisted for more than 20 years, and Hughes was particularly attached to her. After divorcing Sinatra, Gardner moved to Spain, where she got into a relationship with Ernest Hemingway. It was this esteemed writer's influence that led to her being cast in The Snows of Kilimanjaro. Furthermore, her relationship with Hemingway led her to become a fan of bullfighting and, naturally, bullfighters. For a brief time, Gardner and Luis Miguel Dominguez, the highly acclaimed prize bullfighter from Spain, were lovers. After they parted ways, Gardner got involved with actor Benjamin Tatar, who became her live-in boyfriend. While those relationships were Ava Gardner's most publicized heterosexual relationships, it's also been reported she had numerous flings with women. One of these speculated relationships was with Lana Turner, the same Lana Turner two of her husbands had cheated on her with. Both Gardner and Turner, however, repeatedly denied rumors they were intimately involved. Eventually, however, it was confirmed that Turner and Gardner had indeed been lovers. Gardner first realized she was attracted to women when, at 18, she went to see a Broadway musical starring Betty Grable. In her memoir, Gardner stated she couldn't take her eyes off the 23-year-old future pinup queen and described her as a gorgeous creature whom she couldn't help but feel attracted to. After Gardner divorced Artie Shaw, she went to stay with an agent named Minna Wallace, and the two are rumored to have briefly been romantically involved. Before marrying Frank Sinatra, Gardner got into a short-lived relationship with British actress and sex symbol Christine Norden, whom she was quoted as calling hot brood. Now it's time to hear from you. Were you surprised to learn about Ava Gardner's turbulent love life? Let us know in the comments section below. And before you go, make sure you give this video a like and subscribe to Facts Verse if you haven't already. Click the bell icon to stay updated on all our latest content.